Good afternoon, everyone. It is afternoon for me. I know it's evening for some of you. Welcome to Unit 3, Critical Analysis of Research Literature. So now we're at the home stretch, so you know if you've made it this far, you are definitely going to make it through this course. So before I go into Unit 3 and talk a little bit about the assignments in this unit, just a few comments on Unit 2. At this point, I've graded all of your annotated bibliographies, and I'm happy to say that everyone has achieved at least proficiency in terms of understanding theoretical frameworks and in the context of research and connecting them to in the articles to how they support the discussion about and the research about learning and technology. And some of you did exceed way beyond proficiency. So what I'll be doing is I will be getting those back this evening because I thought that I would really focus on grading those first since some of the comments and the feedback on those papers will feed forward into the assignment for Unit 3. So now I have the fun part of getting to go in and look at your assignment 2B, your presentations, and I'm really looking forward to that. And then I've already started reviewing some of your peer reviews. Okay, so let's move on to Unit 3 then. And the first big assignment that you're going to have, if we just go down here a little bit in Unit 3, is to focus in on working yourself through the TCPS tutorial course, which focuses on research ethics. And then you'll be, when you work yourself through that, you'll be making a post, a Padlet post on that. But before you do that, when you complete this, you'll be submitting your TCPS certificate. And that's due next Friday, which is the 2nd of August. So you'll be uploading that by then. And then you'll move into your Unit 3 Padlet, where you make a post based on a couple things, either pulling from what you read in the TCPS material, which, by the way, is very interesting material. I think you'll enjoy it. Or also pulling from our class huddle tomorrow afternoon, Tuesday, which is going to focus in on ethics, research integrity, validity, and reliability. So you're welcome to draw from either or both of those. And the, let's see, the Padlet post on research ethics is going to be due on August 5th. And then the responses where you comment on each other's post is not due till the following Monday, August 12th. So you have some good time for that. Of course, in between all these dates for these first two assignments, you're really going to want to get started on the big assignment, which is assignment 3. And let's just go, and before I go on to assignment 3, because I want to focus on that a little bit, your last assignment in this unit will be sort of a nice balance for the first assignment that you had in this whole course is going back to doing a Padlet reflection to choose an image that reflects where you think you are now in terms of your experience with research and academic writing. And I'll be looking forward to seeing those, of course. So that will be your final activity, and that's actually due on August 16th. Okay. Now, I just don't want to forget to say that we do have a class huddle tomorrow, focusing in, as I said, on ethics and reliability, research reliability and validity, etc. And then we have our final class huddle next Tuesday, and that's when Deb Zorns is going to visit our class huddle and talk a little bit about the advanced research class and how this connects to that and what you can expect in that. So that'll be good for our final class huddle. Okay, so if I go on to assignment 3, and I know that during the last class huddle, I focused on assignment 3. And so those of you who were not able to attend that class huddle, please make sure that you listen to the recording of that and that you review the slides, because that'll really help you before you get started on assignment 3. I go into some detail. I provide lots of examples of kind of what not to do in writing and what to do in writing, okay? And again, I will be providing you with some example papers like I did for Unit 1 and Unit 2 for you to take a look at. But the thing I think that is the most important about this unit is that you get started reading selecting your articles, your 2 articles right away that you're going to be using for this assignment. And because you'll really need to read them 3 or 4 times to really be able to complete the assignment. Okay, so as you know, for part 1, you're going to be selecting 1 article under the reading material that says Learning Theory Articles, and you're going to provide an essay describing the core elements of the theory, the learning theory, as discussed in the article, how it informs or underpins the design of learning, and some of the key perspectives the author shares. You're not going to be summarizing the whole article. You're not going to be talking about the research that might be discussed in the article, except in conjunction with the learning theory that supports it. But you're really going to be honing in on what the learning theory is that's explicated in the article and what the author has to say about it, okay? And how, again, it informs or underpins the design of learning. In some articles, the connection between learning and technology and the theoretical framework are either non-existent or not clear. And if that's true, then you will not be discussing that last piece. So in part 2, you're going to select an article from Unit 3 section of the readings titled Research Articles. And here you're going to be providing a critical analysis for the article. And as we discussed in last week's class huddle, a critical analysis of research article provides the reader with a critical summary and a discussion of a research study as it's presented by the authors of the article, who are also, you want to be sure you understand, the authors of the research. Okay, so you want to watch things, just a little tip here. You don't want to say this article does or does this, or it's the authors who do the doing. The article is where it's summarized, but the authors are the ones who argue, who present, who do a good job, who summarize. So you want to be careful of that, the authors of the research. Your summary or discussion is going to include reference to the research question that's posed in the research study, a summary of the context for the study, and that usually gets into why was it important to do this kind of a study, looking at a discussion of the overview of the literature review that the authors conducted, the theory that frames the research, if that's applicable. Some of these research articles do not have a theoretical framework, but if it does, you're going to be calling that out. Whether the research article was primary or secondary, a brief description of the research methods that were employed in the study, qualitative, quantitative, or mixed, and a summary of the findings of the study and what the results indicate or infer according to the author. You are going to be doing a critical analysis, and in order to understand what that is, you really need to take a look at these 3 things: my slides from and the recording from the last huddle, and you need to take a look at the example papers before you write anything, so you understand what we mean by a critical analysis. This is the most challenging assignment, as it's apropos to have at the end of the course. And I do want to encourage that if you want to work with some of the people in your team in terms of you reading your paper, them, or asking them to take a look at it, or parts of it, or vice versa. In other words, it's very helpful to have a thought partner when you are doing these kind of things. And as I said to many of you, that more and more in the world of research now, we work in collaboration with other researchers. So that sort of models that behavior. But I encourage that. And if you have an article, maybe that a research article that you're reading, but you're not sure exactly if you are understanding the methods right, or whether that these are the methods that the author frames the research up around, and then maybe have one of your team members read that section of the article and see if they can help you sort that out. Of course, I welcome your questions. I really prefer questions in this unit to be put in Ask the Instructor forums so that everyone can benefit from them. And I'm glad to work with you to make a Zoom appointment if I can be helpful in supporting you in writing this as well. So, and this just gets into the specific requirements, which I already overviewed. So let me see what else I might have to say here. Let me take a quick look at my notes. As usual, better to underteach and overcoach. I think that's it. Again, I welcome your questions. Oh, I'm going to put the link in. You'll see it along with this podcast in my instructor's announcement. And it's the link for you to write down the article that you've chosen for both your learning theory paper and your research paper. And part of the reason I want to do this is I want you to really commit to this early, so I know you're out there reading your paper now, starting to look into it, and not waiting till the last minute. This is just impossible to do this kind of paper at the last minute. It's fine if a couple of you select the same research article. That's not a problem. The only problem is you cannot select an article that your team already used for assignment 2, whether or not you read that article or not. Because the intention was the whole team should have been familiar with the articles. But so you were not to select an article that was used at all in assignment 2 for your team project. But other than that, you're open to choose something, and if a couple of you choose the same article, again, that's not going to be a problem. Okay, but I do want to know what you have selected. Fair warning, based on what you select, I go over those articles very carefully. That is the only way I can be very careful to grade your papers, is that I'm very familiar with the article and what it says. So you want to be aware of that. I think that's it. But again, I welcome your questions. And that's it. I will see you online. And I hope I see several of you tomorrow in our class huddle. Okay? And I'll be getting your papers